Hey, it's Mo Salim here, and welcome to the first preview video of Awaken Your Alpha, the world's first system that guides you step by step towards mastering every aspect of your mental, physical, and sexual energy. Because the fact of the matter is that each one of us has the same 24 hours in a day. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Will Smith, LeBron James, Elon Musk, they all have the same 24 hours in a day as you and me. But the only difference is what they do in those 24 hours. And how much energy you have will determine how consistently you're able to follow through on what needs to be done, and how much juice you're able to squeeze out of each one of your 24-hour days. And the fact of the matter is that you're watching this right now because there's a gap between how you're showing up in life and how you want to be showing up in life, all right? And the bridge between that gap is having the energy to follow through on what you know you need to do, all right? And Awaken Your Alpha is your complete roadmap towards conquering fatigue, fighting off depression, developing unbreakable self-confidence, and finally having the energy to do what it actually takes to build muscle, shred fat, develop deep, fulfilling relationships, radically improve your performance in the bedroom, and finally become the strong, grounded, and confident alpha male that you know deep down inside you're capable of being. Now, my journey in masculine development actually started in the area of testosterone optimization. As you already know, testosterone is the driving force of masculinity, and back when my body was not producing sufficient amounts of it was when I found myself in a position where I was sad, lonely, depressed, skinny fat, and significantly lacking the drive and motivation to make a change in my life, all right? That was until I found out about my condition, ordered a blood test, found out that there was a significant room for improvement, and long story short, after countless hours of research and experimentation, I was able to nearly double my total testosterone level 100% naturally. And since then, I've gone on to write over 100,000 words on my blog on the topic of testosterone optimization. My answers on Quora have been viewed more than 1.5 million times. I've uploaded close to 100 videos on YouTube, and I've worked with dozens of guys one-on-one, helping them master this area of their lives as well. Now, I don't say all of this to impress you. I say it to express to you how devoted I've been in my own journey of masculine development and self-optimization, and helping as many men as I can along the way. And I've created many courses on testosterone optimization as well, and for the most part, the customer feedback has been positive. But there's another point of feedback that I've been getting again and again, and it's from guys saying that, yo, I have the blueprint, Mo, like the rules, they seem pretty straightforward, but the only issue that I've been facing is the ability to actually follow through on what needs to get done, all right? Because you can know what to do, but you can still not do what you know. And that is something that a lot of guys that have bought into some of my previous courses have been reporting to me, and something that I've been considering and figuring out how we can actually battle this issue. And another point of feedback that I've been getting is that, yo, I've seen a lot of progress. I've increased my testosterone level significantly. I've been able to sculpt a body that I'm confident in, but I still struggle with erectile dysfunction. And this is a boat that actually I found myself in as well, because I was able to increase my total testosterone level above the normal range for what's considered normal, right? Way above the normal range. But still, I was struggling with erectile dysfunction. And this is when I realized that there's so much more for me to learn, right? There's so much more for me to grow in areas that I didn't even know existed, all right? And after gathering this feedback and after learning about all the areas that I was lagging in, I decided to create the Awaken Your Alpha course, which addresses all of the feedback, which addresses the point about how to develop self-discipline, about how to take consistent action even when you don't want to, and how to actually master your sexual aspect as well, because it has a lot more to do with than just testosterone. So what it really comes down to at the end of the day is igniting your masculine energy so that you can awaken to your masculine potential. But the problem that we face in modern society actually is that there's a push towards eliminating traditional forms of masculinity. We have the Me Too movement, we have toxic masculinity, we have feminists claiming that gender is a social construct, and all of these factors have led down the path of mass of men leading lives of quiet desperation, as the great Henry David Thoreau once said. And this is a major issue that we're facing in modern society, because a lot of us are unclear about what it actually means to be a man in the 21st century. Now, this course is called Awaken Your Alpha, and the word alpha in itself has many connotations, and a lot of guys might be confused about what it actually means, because we have Hollywood, and then we have mainstream media, then we have some misinterpretation of the data, and this has led to many guys thinking that to be alpha means to express dominance over others, it means to be aggressive, it means to just get any girl that you want. And all of these aspects might be manifestations of what it means to be alpha, but what I want to do is get to the root of what it actually means, all right? Because when we look across the species, whether it's wolves, chimpanzees, gorillas, or dogs, all right, or humans even for that matter, the essence of what it means to be alpha comes down to the ability to lead, all right? All of the alphas across all the species are leaders, all right? Now, even with the word leader, you might be thinking that a leader is someone who has the ability to influence the thoughts, words, behaviors, beliefs of someone else, but really it starts with you, all right? You have to be able to influence your own beliefs, behaviors, thoughts, and emotions before you can have other people follow in your path, all right? And that's exactly what Awaken Your Alpha is centered around, providing you with the complete step-by-step roadmap to lead yourself towards having the energy to build a body you're confident in, to have the energy to put it into the relationships and developing them so that they're deep and meaningful, and also to radically improve your performance in the bedroom by igniting your sexual energy, which will go in way more in depth in the course, all right? So that is what alpha really comes down to, the ability to lead, all right? So what we're gonna dive into right now is the 3P model of masculinity, or what I call the Masculinity Trifecta. This is something that I've never shared before, so sit back, relax, and pay attention, because this is definitely something that you want to pay attention to. This is something that I've found is what separates the men who consistently level up their life, who consistently make progress and move forward, from the guys who might make a bit of progress here and there, but just end up stagnating and eventually reversing, all right? And more importantly, stick to the very end of this video, because I have a very important announcement that you want to stay tuned for. Okay, so the 3P model of masculinity. The first P is purpose, all right? Now, I spent a large portion of my life trying to find my purpose, quote unquote, like it was lying under a rock or something like that. But the truth of the matter is that purpose is not something that you find, purpose is something that you create, all right? Now, this took a long time for me to figure out, but the truth of the matter is that this is what you have to do, all right? Because purpose is not something that's out there, it's something that arises from in here, all right? And another thing to understand about purpose is that it's not one thing, okay? Your purpose is not just one thing that you stick to for the rest of your life, because purpose varies based on context, right? It varies based on what state of life you're in, what your end goal is, what role in life you're playing. For example, your purpose as a father will be very different from your purpose as a businessman. Your purpose as a businessman will be very different from your purpose in regards to your health, all right? So purpose depends on context, right? Now, the word purpose in itself actually comes from the Anglo-French root, which means intention or aim, all right? That's what it simply means. And Aristotle actually told us that man is a teleological creature, and teleological just means target striving. And without a target to strive for, you are merely a leaf in the wind who is running off of someone else's purpose, all right? Because if you don't have purpose behind everything that you do, then you are simply running off of somebody else's purpose, and you are running off a program which is from the outside and it's influencing you rather than you influencing the outside. Okay, now that might seem a bit complicated, but the bottom line is that you have to be aware of the intentions behind your behaviors. Are you doing something just because that's always what you've done, or are you doing something because you're very clear on what you seek to accomplish after doing it, right? And that is what purpose really is. And as David Data tells us in The Way of the Superior Man, your mission is your priority. All right, for a man, the most important thing in his life is his purpose and having a target to strive for, whether that's your business, whether that's your health, whether that's your relationships. Everything in your life has to be, every single decision that you make, every single behavior that you demonstrate has to be filtered through the lens of purpose and intention. What do you seek to accomplish through your behavior? And developing this awareness is a practice, but always be asking yourself about why you're doing what you're doing, and that will reveal what purpose you have for it. And that brings us to the second P of the masculinity trifecta, and that is power. Now, power is another word that has a lot of emotional baggage attached to it, thanks to a lot of people trying to get the money, power, and fame. But what I want to do right now again is get to the root, the essence of what this word actually means. Okay, so the word power actually comes from the Latin root, which simply means able. Be able. To be powerful is simply to the ability to make things happen, the simple ability to be able to do something. So you have a purpose, you have an intention behind what you want to do, but power is the ability to actually make it happen. Okay, and power is something that's developed, power is something that's built. It's not like you're born with it, because it comes from keeping commitments to yourself, it comes from constantly expanding your comfort zone, and it comes from doing the things that are hard. And over time you develop the skill set which can be transferable with the power, and with that skill set comes the power to make things happen. Okay, and that brings us to the third P of the masculinity trifecta, and that is passion. Once again, a very loaded word that has many connotations depending on who you ask, but once again I want to get to the essence of what it actually means, because passion comes from the Latin root posse, I think, and I'm not sure of the Latin root, but the meaning of the Latin root of this word is suffering. Okay, it comes from the passion of the Christ. What are you willing to suffer for? Because as the Buddha told us, life is suffering, and the only choice that you have is what you're willing to suffer for. And as the great success philosopher Jim Rohn once said, you either suffer the pain of self-discipline or you suffer the pain of regret. The only difference is that the pain of regret weighs tons, while the pain of self-discipline weighs ounces. And at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Okay, so that's a quick look at the 3 P's of the masculinity trifecta, and this has never been shared before, and obviously I'll be diving way deeper into this topic in how to actually embody these characteristics, but I believe that this is something that every man needs to know. Okay, clarity in what your purpose is, the power in the ability to actually make it come to fruition, and the passion to be willing to suffer the pain of self-discipline and doing what needs to be done regardless of whether you feel like it or not. Now, a lot of guys have actually asked me how this process of energy optimization, whether it's mental, physical, or sexual, changes with age, or whether it does actually change for age, or whether it's different for someone who's 40 and whether it's different for someone who's 30 and 20 and so on. Another question that comes up a lot is, what if I suffer from sleep issues? What if I have difficulty waking up in the morning and difficulty sleeping at night as well? And someone else has been asking me a lot, not only one person but many people, is that I suffer from stress and depression and anxiety. So how can I actually go about resolving this area of my life? Now, these questions and more will be addressed in the next preview video of Awaken Your Alpha, so keep your eyes peeled for that, because in that video not only will I address these questions, but I will also go over the #1 rule of energy. Okay, this is something that once you know, this is something that pharmaceutical companies, supplement companies, all the big industry, they don't want you to know this, because once you do, you can stop relying on the caffeine, you can stop relying on the 4 or 5 hour energy, you can stop relying on all the external substances that you put inside your body, and you can actually generate that energy from within so that you're not dependent on all these external substances. All right, so keep your eyes peeled for video #2, which will be in your inbox shortly, in the next day or so. And finally, please leave a comment below. Let me know about any other further question that you may have, and also let me know your #1 takeaway from this video. This has been Mo Salim. I hope that this video has provided you with some massive value, and I look forward to seeing you soon.